Then you need to listen to what David is going to share with you on the opposite of marketing. Please welcome David Taylor.
Far too many people in our industry deliberately create distance between themselves and their clients. We do it on purpose. And I know this because that's been my own experience. That's been what I've learned. And I've been at PSA meetings, I've been at networking events for speakers and coaches. And this is what I hear people say in the coffee. It's really hard to get gigs nowadays. It's hard to get good fees. It's hard to find clients. That's exactly where I was a couple of years ago. I spent a huge amount of money working with some of the best people in the industry to try and fix that problem. And I learned a really powerful lesson. The lesson I learned is that marketing creates distance. And the simplest test of that is when I stopped spending any money on marketing, my income went up by about 50 times. A 50-fold increase in income when I stopped spending money on marketing. And I think, most people in this room, speakers, coaches, trainers, as solopreneurs, many of us work for ourselves, work maybe with one or two others. We focus our time on the web stuff because we go on Facebook and every other post, every other advert is be a six-figure coach, be a six-figure speaker, follow my plan, build a list, build a funnel, and you'll have clients flowing through the door. I spent a lot of money on that. I lived on all this stuff. But what I can say is that people who are the very best in the world at this, they know all of this stuff really well, and they know it better than you. They certainly know it better than you. When I even got good at this stuff, it still didn't really make a difference. So I'd like to share with you one idea. One core philosophy on how to create an amazing business for you. I'm going to share some ideas around that, and I invite you to do one thing. Listen out for something that might just trigger you. Something that might make you think, wow, I've never thought of that. It might just be one thing. It might be all of it. If you like all of it, that's fantastic, I love you. If you like one bit of it, that's great too. If you don't like any of it, that's also fantastic for me. And I'll tell you why at the end. So this is why I think we deliberately create distance between ourselves and our clients. Very simple picture here about impact, increasing impact, and ease. How easy is something to do? So when we want to connect with our clients, things that we do in our bedrooms. We create our website. We write a blog. We sit behind our laptops, a long way away from our clients, and we do our website and our blog. Maybe we start building our email list. We sign up for Aweber or MailChimp or whatever it is, and we start to create a list. Maybe we get on Facebook. I have to say personally, I love Facebook. I use Facebook a lot, I play that a lot. And we can do that, and it's really simple. We do webinars, personal emails, and calls. But here's what I believe. That as we start up here, the level of impact we have on someone, real impact, is pretty low. But what's great is it's really easy to do. This is why we do all this stuff, because it's really easy to do. It doesn't require any effort. Even a personal email might get a bit more edgy for you, but it's still pretty easy to do. A personal call might get really edgy. When you pick up the phone, you're kind of hoping it's going to go to voicemail. So you have felt that too. I get that every time. But it's really easy, and I can prove it's easy, because you can do all of that lying in bed. You don't even need to take your head off the pillow, and you can do all of that stuff. What you need to do is get out there. You need to get in people's faces. Whether it's group events or whether it's a workshop, you need to get in people's faces. They need to see you, feel you, touch you. They want to know that you've got a pulse, that you've got body temperature. You don't get any of that through the web. But here's what I believe, the one thing that makes the fundamental difference to everything. It's a powerful personal experience. I want to just share some data with you. When I look back at, before I was setting myself in business, 9 years ago, I was the director of one of the biggest financial service companies in the UK. I was your dream client. I spent about £200,000 a year on hiring speakers and coaches and trainers. So I was your dream client. I was the person, in fact, one person I spent £150,000 on in 1 year. You'd love me as a client.
Thank you for that work, David.
And here's my question for you. Every day, my inbox filled up with emails. My PA would get calls. How many people, on average, do you think contacted me every single day I was in my director's office? Have a guess.
One. No.
One?
No.
None? 50? 5. Sorry?
200.
200. Here's the average. On average, I will be contacted, unsolicited, 100 times a day. I would receive 20 to 25,000 contacts, mostly via email, per year. How many people from those who contacted me do you think I met?
One.
So quite none.
Two.
It was per year, it was probably 4 or 5. Per year, I might meet 25 to 30 new people who were bringing something as an idea or a change in perspective or something for my business. So 25,000 contacts, you've got, I don't know what the odds are, but I'd maybe pick 5 people out that I'd meet because they did something different. Something caught my imagination. That was 9 years ago. That was before autoresponders and tools like that really started to get momentum. I reckon that number now could be 100,000, 200,000 contacts. How the hell do you make your little voice speak out in that morass of contacts? It's going to be a powerful personal experience. You've got to find a way to get in someone's face. And I'll share a couple of other stories that happened to me recently. Last year I started running my own events, weekend events. And the first one was in September. And it sold out, which was fantastic. And it really sold out because everybody who came to that first event already had a powerful personal experience of me. We were already in conversation, they already knew me, they'd already felt my pulse, they'd already felt my body heat. Or they were bringing someone, or they were coming with somebody who had a powerful personal experience of me. That event went really well. Then I did a second one. What was interesting about the second one was the people who came, hardly anybody knew me. They found out about it because I've got an ad on Facebook. About 2 weeks before the event, my phone started to ring. Hi, I'm not really sure I want to come to this event, it's not for me. Or I get an email, I want to cancel. 5 days in a row, my phone would ring before 10 o'clock every morning, I don't want to come. Why? Because they didn't know me. At the moment, they thought this looks like a good thing to do. But the reality was, they didn't know me, they didn't have that experience of me. Out of all those people that called me, only one didn't come. Because what happened was, when they called me, I wouldn't let them cancel without the conversation. In fact, there's someone in this room who was in that category. Natasha. But I created an experience of it. And they thought, yeah, I do want a piece of that. Another example, Does anybody here know Bootham School? Anybody here spoken at Bootham School, Jane? So Bootham School is a private school in York, Quaker school. And my son goes to Bootham School. So I thought this is a shoo-in. Bootham School are bound to want me as a speaker because my son goes there. So I crafted a lovely email, and the email went in, and nothing happened. No response. So I called them. I said, I'd like to have a meeting with the headmistress. And they said, okay. And I saw the headmistress the same day. We had 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I agreed to invest to speak at the school. And she said, we really want you to speak at the school. And then she went to the senior school and said, you need to speak to David, because I think what he's going to do is going to be fantastic. And so the senior school contacted me and said, we'll give you 20 minutes to speak to a little bit of the school. And I thought, well, actually I want more than that. I want to have a bigger impact than that. So I went to see the school, I went to the senior school, I met the person who organised the speakers, and I met with her for 10 or 15 minutes. And she said, this is amazing. What we're going to do is, I'm going to arrange for you to speak to the whole school for 1 hour in January. But here's the really cool thing. She said to me, we have, for the college, we have an afternoon every Tuesday where we bring people from outside who speak. And we're really short of good speakers. Would love it if you can help us find good speakers. I'll be taking names during the break. But here's the thing. I've created a powerful person experience. Now I've become a potential gatekeeper for finding them speakers, including myself. And these are paid gigs. But here's the thing. That's one private school in York. St. Peter's, Pocklington, Ethelberger's. The headmaster is going to speak to all of those. So now I've created from one conversation where I spoke to the school and said, I want to meet the headmistress. I've created a powerful person experience, and it's just blowing up like that. Email, no response. So here's what I'm asking you to do. It's not about it's not about impacting these. It's actually about intimacy and distance. Whatever you do, with anything you do, ask yourself this question. Is what I'm doing, is it going to create intimacy between me and my potential client? Or is it creating distance? Now what I said to you was, I believe we do this deliberately. And I think there are 3 reasons why we do this deliberately. I just want to very quickly cover those off. Who here has kids? Who here was a kid? You know what? The Lee's not putting his hand up. And this is a picture of Lee when he's a kid.
Look at that PowerPoint.
So here's the first reason why we like to create distance. Because we're entrained to do so when we're kids. When we're kids, we ask for everything. We want sweets, ice cream, toys, better Christmas presents, you name it, we want more stuff. And our parents, what do parents say? No. And so as kids, when we're young, we're great, because we don't give up asking. Is that true?
Yeah.
Kids will pester you, find different strategies, they'll find different ways to get leverage. They will push you to get a yes. But what we learn over time is, we learn that no is a powerful emotional response for us. And so the first reason why we like to create distance between ourselves and clients is because when we're in their face, when we're having a powerful personal experience with them, they might say no. Here's my first idea for you. Get used to no. No is one of the most powerful words you can have if you are out there in the world trying to make a difference. There's a fantastic book called Go for the No. It talks about this a lot. Very, very powerful book. Change everything in your thinking about how to sell and create relationships. But we're entrained to be allergic to no. When we start to welcome the no, we get more impact, we get higher fees. That's my personal experience, and I've seen it with the people I work with. The second reason why we deliberately create distance between ourselves and our clients is we're afraid of feeling inferior. You know, when you think of your dream client, a chief executive, a public figure, you go to them and you're afraid that they're more powerful than you. Here's a way around that. Here's how to stop that happening. The problem is we go and meet our heroes and we want to please them. But so does everybody else. You don't stand out with the noise. Find a way to serve them. There's an amazing, powerful social movement in America called Because I Said I Would. Very powerful movement. Run by this guy called Alex Sheen. I met Alex in December. 99.9% of people who go and see Alex tell him how great his movement was. I met him, I said, Alex, the problem is it's going to fail this year. And we had a great conversation. I started coaching him. And he welcomed the coaching. Because people who are in senior positions, chief executives, people who are famous, who are public figures, most people who relate to them are sycophants. They tell them how great they are, they want to hold them up. There are very few people they trust who are going to tell them the kind truth. So think about how can you serve the person in front of you rather than pleasing them. Pleasing is weak. The final reason why we create distance between ourselves and our clients is we're afraid of looking the fool. This was a picture of Lee when he grew up. Only because he wasn't paying attention. But we're afraid of looking the fool. But the cool thing is, we should be the fool deliberately. Because we have one job. As speakers, as coaches and trainers, we have one job. And our job is to be Marmite. You should love me or hate me.
Yeah.
If you just kind of like me, I'm not going to make an impact with you. If you kind of like me, I'm not going to make any money out of you. Love me or hate me. Live with it. And when you believe that, you don't care if you look a fool. Because actually, when 9 out of 10 people think you look a fool, you know there's one person who's going to love you for what you are. That's the person I paid £150,000 to when I was a director. I loved what they did. Everybody else just didn't care.
Thank you.
Especially when I leave, you'll still be. So at the end of the day, I believe marketing, because I do believe in marketing, is about one thing. I believe marketing is about being you. It's about loving the person in front of you. Be raw, be authentic, be you. Create a powerful personal experience. You'll make impact. You'll start to change the world. That's when you'll start to make money. I've been David Taylor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Does anybody have any questions for David?
Who did you pay £150,000 for?
It wasn't Lee.
And was
It was me.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. And here's the thing. It wasn't a big name. It wasn't a celebrity, a speaker or anything. It was someone that I'd met about 5 or 6 years beforehand, actually at a Tony Robbins event. And she happened to be in the right place at the right time with the right message. And she brought a speaker in, a guy you've never heard of called Stuart Robinson. And Struan came in, and he made a big impact on the team. And we paid him £150,000 to deliver a whole bunch of talks. I was responsible for about 1,700 people. So when you start doing 50 people at a time, and it's a full day's fee, the fees add up really, really quickly. I was a dream client. And I can tell you just examples from corporate life. There was, at the company I was at, there was a coach came in, and he created a powerful personal experience for the chief executive. And the chief executive said, I'd like to hire you. I'm $20,000 a day. And the thing is, when you get to that deep experience, that deep impact, the fee is irrelevant. The fee is totally irrelevant. So what I hear out here, and I've had this debate with a number of people, oh, fees are market-based. It's not true. The fee is whatever you choose it to be if you create that personal experience and it's powerful enough. And this guy came in and said, I'm $20,000, but I only normally work with you for 6 to 10 days. He made $4 million in 18 months from that one client. Another example, Lloyd's Bank, one of the operations guys in retail, he went to an event in the States He saw someone speak, he spoke in the coffee break, he had a powerful personal experience. He said, I want to bring your team over to the UK. £250,000 in 6 months was what he paid. He had all his team coached by this guy and his team. Now the thing is, it didn't go via procurement, it didn't go via HR or the buying people. He hit it in his budget because he created a personal experience. The guy wanted to make it happen. And there are so many more stories about this that I can share. I mean, my own experience 2 years ago as a coach, when I started out, what is it? Okay, we've had a full week so far this year. I have made 2, maybe 3 times as much money this week coaching than I made in the whole of 2013. It's been a great start of the year. Because my fees just in a completely different scale to what they were before, because I do this. And it wasn't because I have marketing, people coming through a funnel or autoresponder, it's because I have them face to face and they feel that transformation when I talk to them.
Well, thank you very much.